So let's start with LocalDate. This API offers you a class called LocalDate so that you can handle all the date related operations by using a single class. So here, to show you the methods and how does this LocalDate works, I have separated my methods into 4 sections. First one being how to create a LocalDate, how to add days and months and etc. from a LocalDate, what are the get methods, what you can get out of this LocalDate, and also what are the checks that, like, to check whether two dates are equal. Likewise, what are the checks that you can have by using a LocalDate. So I'll start with how to create a LocalDate. So there are 4 main methods, 4 main ways to create a LocalDate. First one is to use .now method. Let me create a LocalDate. I'll name it as LocalDate now. And this all these methods are static methods, so you don't need to initialize an object out of it. So you can use this class and dot straight away the method. So this will create a LocalDate and this will give you the current time of your computer. So output will be in the ISO format, which is the year, then the month, then the date, separated by hyphens. So to be clear, I'll print this LocalDate now in the console. So we will produce you a nice print statement. So let me run this. So as you can see, the LocalDate now is the current date, the today's date. So the next way is to use the off method. So again, I'll create a LocalDate, I'll name it as LocalDate and LocalDate.off. So this method requires 3 parameters: the year, the month, then the date. So this will also produce a LocalDate. So I'll print out all the outputs so you can see how the created LocalDates look like. So this will also create a LocalDate, something like this. Okay, now the next way is to use, let me name it as LocalDate pass, because I am going to use the pass method to create a LocalDate. So for this one, we need to pass a character sequence. The default sequence for the date to be passed into this pass method should be in this format, which is the year in 4 digits, month in 2 digits, and the day in 2 digits. If I want to pass a date, this should be something like this, of 15. So let me sort this as well, and I'll run this so you can see the output. You have the output. So if I change this and make it a single digit for the month, and it will give me an exception because it is searching for a exact format. Okay, you can also change the format, but I'll talk about it in a different video. So the last way to create a LocalDate is by using the from method. So let me name it as LocalDate from. LocalDate.from. So in this case we need to pass in a temporal accessor. A temporal accessor is another way of creating a local date. So there is another way to create a local date along with the time, which is called LocalDate time, and it also has a method called now, which will produce a local date and time both in a single variable. But by using this from method, we are going to extract out the local date from it. So this will again produce a local date, which is the today's date. Okay, local date from is out v, and I'll run the program, and this will produce again the same date as local date now. Right, those are the 4 main methods that you can use to create a local date. Next we'll move on to the plus minus section. So how do you add a day or a month or a year to a local date? How do you subtract from it? There are methods so you can use to do the adding and subtracting. Let's use the addition first. So if let's say you need to add some days to the current local date, so I'll use this local date, this variable right here, to do the manipulation. So I'll do plus days. So how many days I need to add? I need to add 4 days, and now I'll print it so you can see the output. So the result should be the August 20th, because I added 4 days to 16th. So I have the result. Again I'll use this local date, and let's say I need to add some months. So you can see you can add days, months, weeks and years. And also there is a method called plus. So I'll use this to add some months to this local date. So let's say I need to add 2 months to my local date, and as the next parameter I need to pass the unit. That means right now I need to add 2 months. So how do you get the units? You have chrono units dot months will give you the units. So if I print this again, this will give me adding 2 months to the August, give 10th month. Same goes with subtracting. Local date dot minus, I'll use minus years. I need to reduce 3 years from 2020. Print it out. I have 2070. 3 years subtracted. Next again we have minus years, days, months and weeks. Also have this minus function, so I'll use that again. I need to subtract 4 months, let's say 4 days, from the current local date. So I'll go for chrono unit dot days and print the result out. So you have 10th, subtracted 4 days from 16th. Right, so those are the plus and minus methods that you have, so you can manipulate the dates. Next we'll move on to the get section. So in this section I'll talk about what we can extract out of the local date. First one is .get method. So you can use a local date and get the month from it. So if you print it out, you will see the month being printed out. Now the month is August, and let's say you need to print out the value of the month. So there is another function for that. Get month value will do that for you. This will produce the number 8 as the output. Here you go. Next, again you can get, like getting the month, you can get the day of the month, the day of the week, day of the year. Day of the week will be special. Let's say you need to find out the day, in which day is it in the week, so you can use .get day of the week for that. So today is a Wednesday, so this will, yeah, even though today is a Wednesday, local date is set to be 16th, so it should be a Sunday. Again, you can go for LocalDate.get day of year, which will be pretty interesting as well. So all these methods can be used according to your requirements. So likewise, you can get the day of the year, day of the week, day of the month in both in the local date. Again, one more interesting, get length of month, which will output the length of the month. So if you need to find the length of the month, whether it is 28 days, 30 days or 31 days, you can use this length of month method. So August has 31 days and it is printed here. Also assume that you need to find out the start of the date, the start of the month, or the start of the day. For that you can use start of day, at start of day. So this will produce you a local date time variable, because the starting of day is at 12 midnight, and as you can see, this is a local date time variable where you have local date and the time concatenate with a T character. So that is about start of the day. Also you can find the local date dot first, or you can find the start of the day, start of the month, and also end of the month. Assume that you need to find the start day of the month, which is obviously first, but the end of the month can be different. It can be 28, 30 or 31st. So you can find out it by using with. For this we need to pass a temporal adjuster, so you can adjust the local date as you wish. I need to find the last day of this month, so this Java time, which is the package that Datetime API is in, offers a temporal adjusters util class which has the method last day of month. This will give you the last day of August, which is the 31st. You can do the same for start day. I'll do it and show you. So you can use temporal adjusters and first day of month, and print it out, will be 1st of 8th. So that is it for the gets section. We'll move on to the check. The first thing that you can do is to check whether two dates are equal. So you can check whether the local date is equal to the local date now. Print that out again. So we are going to check whether two dates are equal. So in the check section it will be false, because local date is not equal to local date now. But if you go for local date now dot equal to local date from, this will produce the result to be true, because the dates are equal, just like this. Then we'll find out whether local date is before today's date. Local date is 16th of August, today is 5th of August, so it is not before, so this will produce an output of false. In the meantime, I'll print out is I'll code for the is after method as well. So I'll check whether local date is after local date now, and as you can see, local date is not before local date now, but it is after. And finally, there is a special method called is leap year. You can check whether a local date, the year of that date, is a leap year. So this will produce true or false if 2020 is a leap year, which is a leap year, and it should be true, just like this. So now you know all about the local date in Java Datetime API. So let's move on and check what are the methods that we have in local time class. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.